Hello, loves. Hello. May 3rd, Saturday, 2025, right at 7:07 p.m. And there you see the lion in the upper left-hand corner, don't you? You know, Jesus said, I came as the lamb. I'm coming back as the lion. And that's true, and I ain't lying. And I'm going to tell this story, heaven help me. I'm praying endlessly to tell this, and I know you're listening. Whoever needs to be listening, I know you're listening. But here's the story, according to Laurie. What's the story? Well, I know you're listening, so here's the story from a person that used to be called Laurie. Okay? And, you know, it all started after I left my home by force. I was voted out of the unit and forced to leave with disabilities on December 27th, 2025. No job. And I was forced to, even though, that's okay. I was told I'd be taken care of anyway by a person called Michael Lapupu. We'll just say no names exactly. I know you're listening anyway. But, like Let's Go Brandon, it's kind of the same thing. I'm just going to use different names. Still the same story. You're going to know anyway. Totally. So anyway, I left to save my life, actually. And I started smoking and drinking because I couldn't get my head around what was happening. But weirdest thing happened. My lungs got better and my heart got better when I started smoking. And the drinking took care of my gastroenterology problems and kept my stomach sterile. Even though I was hypoglycemic and quite sick, he made sure I left anyway. And he was supposed to take care of me. Give me half of his back pay. And, I waited patiently, like a dummy. Because I believed him. You know how that goes. Anyway, so I left and went to a women's shelter called the Crisis Center in Espanola, New Mexico. And he knew how to work the system because his mother was a social worker for Taos County, New Mexico, for 40 years, all the way up the state. I'm not saying her name or anything, but anyway. So he knew exactly how to work the system, didn't he? Against me. And I had no clue. Yeah, none. But, you see, he had it planned all along this way, you see. So I went to the shelter, and sure as chips, I went to court, and I'm sitting there in court, and he says to me, turns to me, we're trying to defend our daughters, Mary, Carrie, and Pixie, we'll just say, for another name. Anyway, he turns to me and says, hey, I had to put a restraining order on you. CYFD told me to, and I had to exaggerate so I could get our girls back faster. And I said, say what? What? Okay, what? In court? Yeah. And he said, oh, don't worry, you'll get it. No, I didn't get it. What? What restraint? What? I had to exaggerate? Yeah, that's what happened that day. So anyway, we went through that proceeding, and my daughters went into custody, quite rightfully, the way he had the house and everything, because he wouldn't clean it up. He let it go to an atrocity when I was trying to leave him, actually. So, I get this domestic violence order at the shelter, where I was seeking to get away from him, from his 25 years of nasty, narcissistic abuse of me. And I fled to save me. Anyway, so I get this restraining order saying that I hit him, saying that I broke things, tearing up the house, saying that I intimidated him for his VA check, which was a federal offense. I was going to break the windows out of his car if he didn't give it to me. Yeah. However, he didn't even call the Springer PD on me. Interesting, isn't it? Yeah, it's a mystery. Totally. He didn't call the PD. Hey, this crazy lady's going to break out the windows of my SRT Challenger if you don't give your check to me. That's federal offense right there, but nothing. No PD call, no cat call, no nothing. It's the weirdest thing, isn't it? Totally. Anyway, he got that DV order on me fraudulently. Straight up. Mr. LaPoo-Poo, you know who. Anyway, so, I got kicked out that shelter I had 3 days to get me another place. And I was in panic. I had a whole $100 on me. And by the grace of God Almighty, I found me a place. Yeah, God blessed me and went before me as usual. God's got us no matter what they're trying to do to me. And yeah, a lot of stuff happened during that 3-month stay at that mobile home. Anyway, yeah, and got my daughter's Pixie to lie about me and say something about me letting her cook spaghetti. Well, that was a lie, totally. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then April Jolly, or Miss Piggy we'll call her, said that, hey, you can't talk to your daughters any longer because you called your daughter a liar. Well, she was lying. I never let her make spaghetti by herself. I didn't know what that was about. But my daughters had to be emergency evacuated from their foster home in Las Vegas because apparently my daughter, Carrie Barry, hurt the baby. You know, I'm not using real names here. It's, you know, incidentals. And they had to be emergency evac to another foster home in Springer, New Mexico, if I recall, where they said they were, my daughters were praying wrong. And they wouldn't take him to Ash Wednesday like I asked them to, even though it was just in walking distance. Foster parents wouldn't do that for me. But they were praying wrong, as I taught them, you see. Anyway, so that definitely happened when I went back to fight for my babies. And try anyway. But he had this DV on me, which, you know, dissed my First Amendment totally. And my Second Amendment to protect my First Amendment. Definitely. And they got all of a frizzy in a court because I said, hey, he took away my right to free speech and my right to protect my free speech. Or protect myself against him because he's a crack shot for the 82nd Airborne, you know. Downrange, they put bets on him. So yes, I was afraid for my life every single day that he was going to take a shot on me. He's an expert to the Maximus. This Mr. Poo Poo. You know who. Okay? And I was afraid for my life every day because he's a recon expert. And he hunted me mercilessly every single day. Watched everything I did. Had flying monkeys watching everything I did. And even had my daughters report after I reported to my attorney, Terrence Cam, and Tina Lever with ATV, and Casa for Kids, Janelle, and especially April Jolly with CYFD. My suspicions about Mr. Pooh, you know, a memory that I had and pieces I was putting together, that he might be molesting my daughter Pixie, you see. But they wouldn't listen to me. That was July of 2019. Then, the weirdest thing happened. September 9th of 2019, I guess my daughters did an evaluation with Gnosis Therapy in Taos, New Mexico, through April Jolly, insisting. And my daughters said about me that I forced them to watch pornography. That I bribed them to have sex with stuffed animals. That I made them masturbate mercilessly. And that I did all these atrocities to my daughters, you see. Weirdest thing. Yeah. Boy, they took action, didn't they? Yeah. I reported it and they went against me. Yeah, okay. It's going to sound familiar. It gets better, actually. And what? I'm on 844. That's cool. Anyway, so, yeah. But no one ever, my attorney called me and said, hey, Dixie said something happening at a hotel room when you were teaching her about privacy and taking care of yourself appropriately, and she turned it into this big story. You know, stuff that never happened. Really. And I explained to her what happened, but she never showed me this letter of all these other atrocities my daughters said about me, that I bribed them. Really. I wonder who's bribing them. I wonder who's making them watch pornography or having sex with stuffed animals or whatever atrocities. Anyway, I reported it, and that came back to me, but it wasn't true, of course, much like all the other poo-poo that was said about me, too. But they never arrested me again or, you know, investigated. I wish they would have, actually. We could have got to the Skippy. They were lying, totally. You know. So anyway, they're just following, you know, Mr. Le Poo-Poo's shoes. You know, lots of poo-poo on those shoes, let me tell you. Too much. I wouldn't want it. Stinks to high heaven. Over the gates, actually the amethyst of heaven. You know, the top gate, it's sticking so high to heaven, it's not even funny. The lies and the manipulations and the deceptions and the behind the scenes. How many people have not recused themselves from this case because they know their hands are dirty on me? And any right, civil liberties or anything. Nothing civil about this. Anyway, so Mr. Cordova at the same time is reporting this stuff going on with Pixie and Carrie Berry. Yeah, and he reported it 110 times too. Yeah. And what happened to him? They set him up the very same way they did me. The only difference was, poor dude, he's innocent, just like I was. And everybody wants to believe Barabbas. The lies are so much easier to believe. But what was really true about me? Nothing. Nothing. You know, you can try to stick it, but it's going to smear right down. You know, you pick it, you flick it, and it just smears right down. Okay? So who's really the clown? I'm not perfect, but let me tell you something. Those who are complicit with this, you know who you are, and I know you're listening. Okay? And the truth trumps it all, and that's not political. What was really true? It's what you can make stick. And that's a sad part about it. And I know you've stuck everything, including my children. And for that, hey, I have no vengeance. That's up to God to judge you. I got nothing to do with you, dude. I got nothing to do with what you do, dude. Nothing. And I thank God and the Heavenly for that. Because I wasn't even there, man, when you did all that. And what you hid from me in atrocity, my good God Almighty. Yeah. I prayed for the best, I did. They're like the Lion of Zion right up there in the upper left-hand corner. I'm not lying. You're frying. Big time. At 12:22. That's you, Mr. LaPoo-Poo. You lied about everything all the way back to fraudulent schemes in Ephesus, Florence, Arizona. You're so afraid of my truth. I'm 1,300 miles away and I can't even touch you. The only thing you're afraid of is my truth. Here we go again. Okay, what's the matter? Can't handle the truth, soldier? Huh? What? You can't handle the truth, soldier? You're indoctrinated too, weren't you? You know, all enemies, foreign and domestically, that you're supposed to defend this country. You've got a sanctuary right there in Maxwell, New Mexico, and they're all over you, and they're watching you too. Believe me, dude. Yeah, at 1309, definitely. They're watching you and the whole state of New Mexico too. You're corrupt as all dip-nip chips, and you know it, dude. And so are your systems, and believe me, everybody's watching more than you even know. More than you even know. Because you got nothing, bro. Yeah, you worship Satan, you and your kind who hurt children and lead them into sin. Yeah, well, what did Jesus say about that? Chips. Better you tie a millstone around your neck, dude. Cast yourself into the abyss. And boy, you've gone way over the limits. Not just you, but your whole crew. Who are complicit with you, too. And they're either going to turn their backs and look at you, or they're going to keep following you. You know, the light of Christ is here, and the truth trumps it all. That ain't political. Okay? And you know who you are, and you know what you've done. And you dipped your chips. I didn't even put a gun. I'm Lucifer. Unfortunately for you sons. You're worshiping the wrong one. All the time, you fools. You fools. Jeez. I don't know. I'd rather be me. I'd rather not be you poo-poos. Leading children into sin. That's okay. We all poof someday. Yeah, and the light of Christ will shine away. Yeah. I've been a lamb long enough. I don't have to use your... What's the matter? Is the truth too hard for you? What's the matter? I tell a little too much truth? Huh? Well, you already crucified me just like that lamb right there. You already crucified me. How many ways? Okay? Well, now, I'm not lying. Not at all. At 15, straight up. I got nothing to lie about, but you sure do. I wonder if you can even keep track, dude. Huh? How can I be in imminent grave danger to you when I'm not even close to you? Not even in your proximity, dude. How is it possible? How is that possible? I could even be a threat to you. It's impossible. It's impossible. Absolutely. Yeah. You're about as ugly as that hack right there. Totally. If you're just afraid of the truth, that's all you are. Yeah. And everlasting Father, absolutely. My counselor. Yes, and you're going to go down. You're going to go down. And they'll call me Sir. I'm not going down like Jesus, though. It's different. The truth to be told, he gave me the technology to do it, and I'm going to do it, dude. What didn't you do? What didn't you do? What didn't you do? To crucify me and Carlos Cordova, too. Yeah, well, people are turning on you, too, and they know the truth. Believe me, far more than you think. You stink. Your poo-poo so thick on your shoe. Ugh. I would not want to be you. I pity you. I've tried to pray for you. I've tried. It's just going on 7 years now. I've had enough. Enough is enough. Now you put a warrant out for me for telling the truth. A little too hard for you. What's the matter? Are you afraid of my First Amendment? That somebody might find something out about you finally? Huh? You've hid it so gleefully. You look like such a great guy. Yeah. Well, they know when they're protecting a turd, and they protected you and given you everything. And Carlos Cordova, an innocent man, and I have had to take the sacrificial for you. And this whole state of New Mexico, too. How much has this cost them, dude? I think you quite made a business out of this, quite frankly. Totally. Yeah. And how much haven't you thrown at me? You're still trying to. That's okay. Eventually I'll go back to gold anyway. You see that right there? I go right back there. I know I'm of the light. I'm of the truth. And I'm of integrity. Not you, Mr. Lukuku. Or what you've done to our children, especially. You have a lot on your plate. This is almost a 20-minute video. There's a lot to say. Too much that I could possibly, but it's the only way I can get out of my system. I'm going to tell the truth, even though I'm not saying your name. Nope. Or giving your address or any personal information. They know who you are, and worst of all, you know who you are. That's the worst of it. You know who you are, and you can't get away from that, cuckoo, no matter what you do. Good luck trying to scrape that poo-poo off your shoo-shoo. I would not want to be you. When God calls your poo-poo ticket on you, because he won't even see you. And I'm not judging you or criticizing you or anything. I'm just telling you what the heavenly's telling me. You know what you do. You cannot get away from you, Mr. the Cuckoo. See you in court, dude.